We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World and the Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
I'm Rob.
And this is episode 194 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. Rob is cheering if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube because it took us a couple tries because we're amateurs apparently.
It took you guys a couple tries, not me.
Well, you ruined the last one.
I did. You're right. All right. Fine.
We're almost at 200 episodes, guys. We can't get it right. We just can't get it right. It's all right. Luckily, we're not live. We're pre-recording this, so if we were live, this would have been very embarrassing for both of you and not me. But you can follow us over on the Twitter at RealBTR Radio. You can follow me individually on Twitter at Ethan9095. You can follow the Analyst James Williams on Twitter at
JHW Reporter.
And follow Producer Rob Flores on Twitter at
Rob Flores Media. And don't forget the R-Tooth, the answer, Ethan.
And of course, Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes and YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes. We're also on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find podcasts. Just search up Beyond the Ropes. You'll see the greenish, reddish, purplish colored design that I made. It'll be there until next season, whenever that is. But we have a big event we got to talk about. But first, we have to get it out of the way to acknowledge Tribal 2. He had a great weekend. He showed up to work because, you were complaining last week he didn't show up to work.
The fact that you have to celebrate and say that he showed up for work tells me everything I need to know.
So he showed up to work. You better enjoy him now because, might not be too long before, Hollywood's calling, knocking on his door. They're banging on his door. Who else is going to carry the Fast and Furious franchise?
Who wants to?
I don't know, but I hope he really.
I thought it was over 3 movies ago, and it still keeps coming back.
Oh, it was over 5 movies ago, but they're making it, they're pushing them out. Anyways, no, it was news over the weekend. Let's just get right into it. Roman Reigns cut a little promo after the show. I believe it could be wrong. It might have been Trenton, New Jersey. It could be completely wrong. Could be a completely different area. Cut a promo saying he doesn't know if he'll ever make it back to this town again, smaller town, insinuating that he was potentially 1 foot out the door. I don't know, maybe working a part-time schedule, something like that. Numerous reports have since come out saying various things, saying, he's only working TVs now. The latest report is stating that he's basically just cutting back on house shows and only working the bigger towns, which would make sense.
It's Trenton, New Jersey. I don't
know if it was New Jersey.
Wherever it is, how often are they there anyway? You know what I mean?
He's basically
a heel right now anyway. So
working the Florida shows, maybe the California shows. New York.
I wouldn't read too much into it, and especially you're not making an announcement like that on the house show. You're not doing
It wasn't an announcement. It was. He just basically teased that he wouldn't be appearing.
Yeah, but I just feel like that's just a reverse babyface pop.
Is it? I don't know.
Apparently
he did sign a new deal that would signify less dates. So.
I just don't understand. I don't make much of it, to be honest.
Maybe it could be nothing.
What I did see a report on? It was on. I saw it tweeted out by Wrestling News Co. That's their Twitter handle and their website. And just off the headline alone was something. Actually, I guess this comes from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Their live show with Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. But this is something I've been talking about for a while, or at least I've been thinking about. actually, I have talked about when it came to the unification stuff, that Fox reportedly wants exclusivity on the WWE talent, which is what they had and which is probably what was pitched to them when this stuff first went down. And you had Roman Reigns just on Fox because he was the SmackDown guy, right? Like, and I thought that's why we were, there all this unification stuff that, you've mentioned kind of a few times where, oh, maybe they're getting away from the brand split. How can they do that? If I would assume that was part of the bargaining was like, hey, you're going to get these guys because these guys are on this show. Right. So it's like, it made me always wonder, like, what are you going to do to make that work anyways, in terms of whenever you do a draft again. Right. But yeah, I just think it shouldn't come as a surprise that they're doing this or that they want this. I mean, that's probably what was told to them. Obviously, maybe things have changed a little bit since they started letting people go and all that. I know this is supposed to be their most profitable quarter or year. I saw tweets about that going around, I think from Brian Alvarez as well, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think Fox has every right, considering the amount of money that they pay, to have these things demanded. Especially if Roman Reigns does have a new deal and he's sticking around, Fox wants him on their show. They don't want him bouncing around. So what say you about your chief?
Everyone wants Tribal Chief on their show.
I guess. I mean, I want to jump into the unification stuff because I remember that seems to be kicking back up. But do you want to talk about Backlash first before we get into some of that? Because some of what I have to say, falls in line with some of that. So we can wait till we get to the main event to talk about some of that stuff. But you want to talk about Roman Reigns, so I just thought, it was kind of interesting.
Well, we got to acknowledge our Tribal Chief.
You did it already.
Can't be disrespectful,
Yeah, well, maybe to you. But anyways, you did it already. Talk about something else.
Talk about...
don't talk about Seth Rollins. We don't want to hear about
God himself.
I knew it.
Because he opened WrestleMania Backlash, sir.
He did.
We got to talk about him.
Okay.
Against Your Every Wish. Of course, he faced off against the American Nightmare.
No, he lost.
Well, he faced off against them. He spoiled the ending already. We're gonna.
Hey, our audience is filled with smart people.
You got to analyze it.
I just did. I told you. I broke it down for you. He lost.
You didn't talk about what a classic it was. We're seeing remnants of Flair, Steamboat. We're seeing remnants of Taker and Michaels. We're seeing,
Cody Rhodes has been in the company, returned to the company for the first time in a month, or for how long? But he's only been there about a month, and you're already throwing Steamboat Ric Flair feud comparisons.
This is an incredible feud. This is a great match.
This is the first time the feud's actually done had some sort of story behind it, because the first time they met at WrestleMania, there was no story. So what feud are you talking about?
The story. Did you completely forget the story? You forgot the story already. The story was Seth trying to get to WrestleMania, and only for it to be crushed by the newcomer or the returnee. So that story, you missed it there. Now Seth wants payback, and he didn't get it. He got rolled up. Cody with some underhanded tactics.
Wow, are you calling Cody Rhodes a cheater?
Well, he did cheat to win, but
would Seth Rollins have not done the same in that situation too, though?
Well, he was trying to, and it backfired. So
yeah,
I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm just saying it happened. That's what happened.
All right.
Cody ended up rolling him up, pulling the tights, and got the victory, much to Seth's dismay. And then the next night, we'll just get into it. Mm-hmm. Cody had a United States Championship match. And, if he would have won this match, he would have ended, racism. He would have, as everyone on Twitter was saying, everyone I follow on Twitter was saying, all the pictures with MLK were coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Cody was going to change his theme music to some rap song I wasn't familiar with, but very...
what?
I don't know. This is the stuff I see on Twitter. I retweet some of it. You gotta go follow me at Ethan85.
I guess, apparently.
It's good stuff. Anyways, no, Seth Rollins came out and attacked Cody Rhodes, and it looks like we might be getting a third match at potentially the Hell in a Cell. Say it with me, James. Premium
live
event.
event. Now, my whole thought on that is, yeah, maybe they are headed for a third match. But Cody Rhodes has beat him twice, right?
Technically,
Has he beat him, yes or no? Twice.
Well, technically, hold on. Yes, he did.
Okay.
But the first time, it was a surprise.
Yep.
Second time,
We'll get to that in a minute, Rob.
Second time, he beat him by cheating, technically. So there hasn't been a clean victory.
Lord.
Well,
He's
we're
lost
saying
three.
about
He's lost twice. Why would you even bother having a third match? I mean, I get it. Sure. Have a third match, put in a Hell in a Cell. But
give him an hour. Give him
it's not like Seth's going to win the feud at this point. It's, you know, if anything, now he's just a nuisance because, again, like you talked about it there, he had the United States title match, if I'm not mistaken, against Theory, correct? That's what happened on Raw.
That's correct.
And Cody had him ready. He was ready to win the title. And you have Seth come out, make the attack from behind when Cody's not looking, get the DQ, and the title stays with Theory. And then, too, just an interesting fact from that thing was I think they said the last time Cody Rhodes was in WWE prior to his recent return, I think Theory was like in high school or something, which I thought was like pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's very young.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
But I was wondering where they were going. I mean, I wasn't surprised that there's a lot of stuff that I take away from that match just because, one, you're not throwing Cody into the title picture right away, which I get. And if it's going to be this universal title deal, unified title deal, then you're going to have, you know, more people going for one belt. Not everyone's going to get a turn all at once.
If you do it too fast, you're killing the story.
I'm killing the story?
No, in general, WWE would be killing the story if they push.
Yes, yeah. If he won it in the next month.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I think I like the slow pace they're going with Cody, even though he's hot, but they can build the momentum for him up even more. And he can earn it because, again, they're doing it right, because if he wins the title, like in a week, he's going to get booed because now it's like, oh, wow, skyrocket on his back straight to the top. But I also like that, you know, you're kind of getting Theory involved. It shows that Theory's a good worker. Theory can work with a guy like Cody. There's a lot of potential there for that to be a feud or a rivalry that can last for some time just because of how young those guys are. And I think it says a lot about just they're getting the U.S. title on TV. If you have Cody Rhodes win the U.S. title, I think that, again, elevates it even more. You're having some different guys starting to win the title, some younger guys starting, like a Theory, kind of getting that bump, that boost in their career by holding the U.S. title. That puts a little prestige on it. You get a guy like Cody Rhodes winning it, adds more prestige to it again. And then, you know, maybe you don't go Seth, Cody for the U.S. title, but you have something there where you're making that U.S. Even if you just do Theory and Cody Rhodes for the U.S. title for some time, I think that makes, you know, that you're giving a relevant feud to a title that could desperately use a good feud, I think. And yeah, I just think there's a lot of good stuff that can come out of the situation that they had on Monday night because of that. And it really goes with hey, this is a TV title. Like, this is a title that should be defended every week and have good matches. They shouldn't be like squash matches or predictable matches, right? And I thought there was a lot of good stuff. And now maybe they go and they finish this Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes feud, but I think they should definitely maybe try and jump right into that, because I like the way they even phrased it too. Here's why Cody's now having a match for the U.S. title with Theory, because he beat someone like Rollins twice since his return. That's really elevated his stock. You know, they're taking into account the resume and the quality of an opponent and the victories those are, beating Seth Rollins, someone who's won the world titles in the WWE titles a few times and whatnot. And it makes sense if you're not going to have a tournament or some sort of ranking system to say who's the number one contender, saying a guy comes in, beats a former champion, definitely deserves a title shot, right? I think they're doing it the right way with Cody Rhodes so far. and you can't ask for anything more than that. And I think, if there was any doubt or wonder on what they were going to do, or how they were going to handle Cody Rhodes coming in and what they were going to do with them, I think they're doing it pretty nicely so far. The last couple of weeks since his return, he was more or less opening the show, just even if there are promo segments with Seth. They didn't open with them this week. They were kind of in the middle somewhere, but I thought it was a lot of good stuff. And I was pretty happy so far with what they're doing with Cody Rhodes.
I agree. We'll see where they go. Potential Hell in a Cell match, it would make sense. If they're going to heat things up. Seth did curb stomp him on the announce table.
On the table, yeah.
This past Monday, so that, it's getting more violent.
So maybe he's out for a week?
Well, they did show a video of him walking during the break, walking on his own accord, so I doubt he'll miss a week. But who knows? We'll definitely see a third match. You're
going to get a third match if you're putting someone's head through the table. Like, the table didn't break, but if you're stomping on someone's head on the table, there's going to be a third match.
It might elevate to a actual Hell in a Cell
match.
But
I was going to say, does it need to be a Hell in a Cell match? Because there's, they don't do every match Hell in a Cell.
It doesn't, but
it does, though.
If they did the curb something, yes, they'll probably do it inside Hell in a Cell. I'm not saying they don't need to be. Well, I don't think they
do. I mean, what would be different about it than you had 2 normal matches already? If this is supposed to be some intense feud or some feud that has to get settled,
give them a best maybe 3 falls or something.
I think you
match. You could do any type of those. I mean, you put 2 guys who can really wrestle. You can do that. I mean, it's going to be a Hell in a Cell match because it is at the Hell in a Cell event. So.
And I think they could have a great Hell in a Cell match. And one of them is going to jump off the cage, I would imagine. Didn't Cody do some of that when he was at AEW? Didn't he jump off didn't he do the spot?
He did a moonsault off the steel cage. I think they're only steel cage to date. And he likes his blood. So I don't know if they're going to let him.
It's called color, brother.
You're right. There's only one blood line we'll talk about later on. But your color.
The Hart family, but okay.
Don't know about that. They're on the indie show. They're doing a tournament for someone over there. I don't know. One of the Harts over there. I think Natalia Hart or something.
You behave now. You behave.
Martha was in the crowd apparently. Anyway,
that's what Rob was saying. I wasn't aware of that.
When we return, we're going to talk more WrestleMania Backlash. By the way, we all predicted Rollins was going to win this one, so we were all wrong. How dare we go against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes?
I had reasons for it.
When we return, we'll talk more WrestleMania Backlash right here on Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ, HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 194 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. Of course, I am your host, Ethan, joined alongside the analyst, James Williams, and producer, Rob Flores. We're talking WrestleMania Backlash. Let's get into the next match, the Clash of the Titans, if you will. Perhaps the match of the night, according to James. His favorite match of the year, according to Rob. His.
What are you lying about? What? I know you're not talking about Lashley almost match, right?
So we had Lashley versus Omos.
I knew it. What a fool.
We had Lashley versus Omos. I predicted this one wrong. I thought, they're going all the way with the new babyface run for Lashley, and no, they're extending this feud. They're
of course they are. I mean, look, this is you liked to you were very tactful, or I don't know if tactful is word. Anyways, you try to make me look silly before the break by saying, "Oh, James picked the Cody Rhodes Rollins match wrong," but this is exactly the same mindset. But this is the same mindset that I had with Lashley and Omos. Well, I went with Omos, right?
You did.
Yeah, because there's going to be a third match, and you have it now even 1-1 going into the next.
What are they going to do in this third match that they haven't already done? Because Omos can't do very much.
Oh, I mean, I don't.
Or what?
I mean, look. I don't know what they're going to do in the third match. I just know they were going to have a third match.
Can't they put this on like main event or something?
I was gonna say, wouldn't maybe it's on Hell in a Cell, maybe it's not. It's not It's not gonna be
Apparently,
in the
they're not kickoff
cell.
matches anymore. So
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe this would be a good kickoff match, but I don't know. The Cedric Alexander thing is a little weird on what they're.
where's Shelton? I don't know where's Shelton at.
Shelton ain't gonna involve. He ain't want to be no part of this.
Well, I don't blame him, but at
The
least
minute I saw Cedric Alexander being put in there, like, oh, you're gonna be back with MVP. We're gonna have you in a match against Lashley. I said, dang well, or Shelton Benjamin's like, I'm not gonna go in there and get jobbed out. Like, I'm not doing that. But now good for Cedric. He's getting on TV here a little bit. He's getting back in the fold a little bit, but I don't know. I not entirely sure where they go. From here, but
Omos did win the match. You and Rob predicted this correctly. Let's just move on, shall we?
Yeah, I think our conversation there was about as long as the match. No,
it's as long as it needed to be. I don't know if it was as long as the match. But we don't need to go over with it. We all predicted this one wrong. Excuse me.
I got more wrong than I thought.
Edge versus.
Yes.
I'm 0 for 3 actually right now.
Yeah, you're pretty bad.
It was not a good predictions for me. Anyways, it was AJ Styles versus Edge, of course, Edge of the Judgment Day, not Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
The Judgment Day. I already didn't care for Judgment Day as a name.
I didn't.
Now they added the in front of it. It's weird. Anyways, we had
the or the
I don't know, whatever
they
want to call it. Yes, it's a callback to Edge's promotional poster on Judgment Day where he's doing the little thing, a little scale, I think. They also did a throwback of the Backlash pay-per-view poster. WWE shared that one, an updated version for this year.
With Edge?
Edge. It was like The Shining, how the Jack Nicholson sticks his head in the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene. They did one of Edge like in 2008, like that. They redid it again this year.
Oh, interesting.
For this year's poster, so it's kind of a neat throwback. Anyways, Edge, an all purple attire, because purple is a big color for the Judgment Day, as we would see purple lighting being used for some foreshadowing for another wrestler that would soon join. This was, I think, a better match than their Mania match, potentially. I don't have to go back and watch them. But this was a solid match. Of course, Damian Priest was banned from ringside. He did show up. Finn Balor actually attacked him, took him out, and then we saw a mystery figure show up in all black, push AJ Styles off the turnbuckle, and then Edge put him in a crossface to make him pass out and get the victory. So now he's 2-0 on Styles, which is interesting. They're doing like 2-0s for
they're kind of weird.
2 feuds now. I mean, I guess it makes sense for this
2
one.
of the bigger feuds, but this one makes sense at least.
This one makes a little more sense because they're adding people to the faction.
That and they've attacked AJ Styles every week, and he had a shoulder injury coming in.
Injured shoulder.
Yeah.
Finn Balor's over here trying to do something. He's not doing it. He's not being very effective.
They beat AJ down on the go home show, I believe. Like he got beaten down more or less.
Beaten down. That was when Finn came out.
That's when Finn came out, but by then
he got beaten down. Yeah, beaten down. And then we got the reveal. The new colored hair, dark hair. Rhea Ripley revealed herself officially the 3rd member of the Judgment Day. Let's just jump ahead to Monday Night Raw. Edge got a new haircut, by the way. He's got the Rhea Ripley look. Yeah.
I don't even think I noticed that. And I saw them standing right next to each other.
Yeah, he got the Rhea Ripley haircut. So new look for him. He basically explained that he was the reason behind Ripley turning on Liv Morgan.
Told you. Did I not?
Saying that. Did you?
I mean, someone else wrote about it, and I ran with the idea.
I think everyone
it made sense.
Been saying that Rhea Ripley is going to join the Judgment Day.
Yeah, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about me. No, but it made sense when I first heard it. It made sense, and nice to see them go through with it, despite it being out there. Yeah,
there was a purple lighting too. She fits the aesthetic of the group. Obviously,
she always has. Yeah,
she always has. It makes sense. And it looks like Edge is trying to definitely build up some of the younger stars, even though Damian Priest is like almost 40. But
He's giving them the rub.
He's still giving them the rub to still accomplish something. His WWE career is still very young. So
because I think like Damian Priest was getting over on his own. I feel
he was, yeah.
And Rhea has kind of been over to some degree on her own, but I think again I've mentioned it before.
Next level.
Edge takes them to another level, right? Like you're
in the main event scene now.
Exactly, and I think that's exactly it, right? Like what last year this time, or maybe not around WrestleMania time, but like there had been talk about how are they going to make new stars? What are they doing to make new stars? How are like you pair them with Edge and
Hall of Famer.
put a rocket ship on their back, right? Like that's exactly what's happening, right? And I think it's great. I think what they're doing is great.
And you're putting them against two guys who are veterans, who are also pretty big names in AJ Styles and Finn Balor. And you're doing something with them, and we might see another woman added. Liv Morgan, she had a match with Rhea Ripley. Nice little match there.
Because she came out on Raw when Rhea was there, no? Like when Rhea and Edge were in the ring, wasn't Liv the one who interrupted the segment?
Well, it was
she interrupted
the segment to have the match because that was a confirmed match. It wasn't
okay.
He talked her, but she
but
did.
It still makes her a good little rub for her, though. Like,
he's still, if she's involved in the storyline moving forward, which it seems like it would make sense that she would be. It's something for her. They've kind of been showcasing her talents over the last several months. People have been wanting that push for her. Her aligning herself with Finn Balor and AJ Styles would be a great thing for her.
And it's nice little storytelling too, just from the standpoint of it was its own story. Rhea and Liv, they were a tag team, whatever. You both saw that both of them were on the rise for something. And now you're adding that story to this, which I think maybe it was about time, like to kind of move that over. And you're combining it into this storyline, and you're extending that storyline a little bit, and you're getting two stories coming out of this stable.
There's a history between Priest and Balor. Balor was the reason Priest lost the title. He lost the title to him, and then he turned heel, and then which would eventually lead him to join the Judgment Day. So you got essentially three storylines intertwined in one now.
Now, with that said, do you think this is something that the long-term story plan had planned out for a couple months, or do you think this is all coincidence and being thrown together nicely?
I feel like because Edge is involved.
That's exactly,
Because Edge is involved, I feel like this might have been the plan. At least maybe they took different routes to it.
Yeah.
Maybe they just they saw he wanted to work with Priest. I think that was teased. I think he liked Rhea Ripley a lot. Said probably want to work with them. I know he's been wanting to work with AJ and Finn. Liv Morgan's there. Why not? Let's. I think that the pieces kind of fell together in a sense, but also I'm sure there might have been some talk ahead of time. Hey, let's get Edge into a faction, and let's do something with it. And I think he's probably brought along the right people for it. And I think it's working out nicely.
And I think Edge may have had a lot to do with it. Now, you're booking through to WrestleMania. I mean, the pre stuff at WrestleMania, and then just beyond that. But again, I think it had to be a little bit long term, because you think about how those stories that now are still continuing, but how these stories started the evolution of these characters, right? Where Finn Balor's getting under the skin of Damian Priest, that Damian Priest turns, and at the time didn't make a whole lot of sense because he's like dropping the title to him on TV. Rhea's fed up with Liv and the way the tag team stuff's going.
That kind of came a little bit out of nowhere, but I mean, they explained it now with Edge.
I kind of didn't think it was coming out of nowhere.
I mean,
they gave it a week or two. Like there was some tension for a week.
It wasn't just like, oh, I'm leaving this team. They definitely kind of teased a little bit, but I mean, they were doing decent as a team, and then it seemed like, oh, okay.
They did kind of maybe cut it a little short, but at the same time, like
if they were going to do anything with it, they should have done this.
But I think it makes sense because before Rhea, like Liv was in a feud with something, like it looked promising for her. With some solo stuff anyways, whether it was with like Becky or Belair or whoever,
Yeah, she was involved in that title picture for a little bit.
So it was funny to me that she got put into a tag team to begin with. So I think that like this is right. You get her on track, like it worked out. Like I think you keep live with whatever momentum and hype you're making at it with her.
Mhm.
And I like the way things are going. I like the way this is kind of
I
going
like
for everybody involved.
I like everyone involved, and
Mm-hmm.
I think this could lead to. I mean, someone. It's not. I doubt it would happen. Someone mentioned a potential war games on the main roster. I mean,
I don't think so.
Edge said they were looking for more members.
Sure, but it's kind of like right now it's the
I
two
don't
and
know
two
if
because you're not putting the women in the war games, right? Like not against men,
well,
like not with men. You're not doing men and women like that.
hold on. There was a tease. There was a match. Was it Balor versus Priest? Yeah, it was Balor versus Priest on
Mhm.
Monday. So Rhea beat Liv. She beat her clean. Edge was kind of mocking her, which is funny. So he was kind of tapping along with her.
I think I did.
So neat. And then Balor and AJ came out, took their entrance. Liv was nowhere to be found after that. So I think maybe next week we'll probably see them online
Mhm.
if she's going to be involved. But then we had Priest versus Balor. Edge got involved, so Balor won by disqualification. And then Rhea got involved as the X Factor, and AJ was. There was a couple times where
Where he wants to
he's gonna
engage.
strike, and he stopped. So I
Mhm.
don't. I mean, I feel like they could do it, and you just won't have the guys. I'm not saying they are going to do it. It's a War Games match,
Right.
Then the War Games match.
But even if you do two good like there's not like you had DX back in the day and they pretty much ran the card because they had 4 different matches. You had a tag team match with Outlaws, you had X-Pac in an opening match working with somebody, and then you had like Triple H in the main event. So it's like you can get 4 matches out of one storyline technically, so I think if you get 2 matches out of this faction storyline stuff, I think it's good. Again, we talked about this last week, and I mentioned that right before we went on the air or whatever last time, I was talking about how I was watching the Stephanie McMahon episode of WWE Evil and how there was so much storytelling with that, with the whole Triple H Stephanie marriage thing, and how a lot of that stemmed in terms of Stephanie turning evil because Vince did anything he could to get back at Austin. And so he's putting his daughter on a Undertaker symbol and tying her up and all this and ready to marry the Undertaker. Like that's long-term storytelling, and we're starting to get some, and that's what I wanted last week. And now it's totally making like we're getting that here, and I like it. Now let's see if they can keep it up. That's the thing.
Absolutely. And Edge did tease more members. Speculation again from social media.
Who else?
Tommaso Ciampa was a name thrown out. He's
I could see that
in a bit of a feud with Mustafa
with everybody.
Mustafa Ali is
with everybody.
Mustafa Ali is in a feud.
Or Mustafa Ali's in it with everybody.
With
okay.
Theory, Miz, Ciampa, he's got everyone against him.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the Balor AJ thing. I'm sure I would assume they would add Liv. That would make sense. And then if Judgment Day does add Ciampa, who would they add Ali to Balor's team?
I think they could. When is Survivor Series? Because this could be the Survivor Series match. Again, I don't know about Liv and Rhea, but well, wait, that's like November, right? Survivor Series is like November.
Got November. I mean, this could be a big match at SummerSlam.
It could.
Money in the Bank's a stadium show. It's in Vegas.
Yeah, again, like if it's not Survivor Series, I don't see all of them in one match together, but I can see where you're going to get a few matches out of this.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get Ciampa and
whoever
Ali on the other side.
I mean, so anyways, Edge did tease potential new members, so we can expect someone new, or maybe even more than one person.
Ciampa would be good though. I don't know who else, but Ciampa would be good. I didn't think
give
about
them
that.
something to do, and as long as they're doing something with them, I'm fine with that.
And that was the thing with Ciampa, right? Ciampa wants to, if you're going to put him on the main card, like he never wanted to go to the main card for this reason. So I think if you're putting him in the middle of something, if you're putting him with Edge, like
that's good. And I know Edge and Ciampa have gotten along. I think Ciampa has spoken to Edge about his neck injury because they both have that neck injury. So I know. I mean, Edge has talked to a lot of these individuals and gotten along with them, gotten close with them. So it would make sense to have his guys,
and it would be
that feud.
It would be a mature group, just in terms of like their age and stuff, where they're at in their career. Maybe with guys like Ciampa, and
you've got a lot of pros, and that's great. when
Well,
you
yeah,
have a lot of people that know what they're doing.
but I just feel like even with an Edge and a Ciampa, like you're getting a very like an old school mindset thought process, right? Like
Ciampa's only 36 too. He's
but
not even that. He's not even that old.
he's not that old, but just the way he wrestles, the way he's
Right,
present himself, his feuds, like the thing with Johnny Gargano, that was like storytelling for 2 years or
At
something.
its finest,
So I just think,
talked about a lot.
yeah, you're getting like a lot of good stuff, I think, by combining those. Now, again, it could all go to by the wayside and mean nothing in 2 weeks, but I think Edge wouldn't let that happen. So that's why I'm kind of excited about the way this whole thing could play out.
Edge's run, since his return has been pretty good. I mean, I would say more good than not. So I would assume if he's involved in something, he's gonna make sure it's gonna be something that's important and of value. So hopefully we'll get something good out of this.
They gave it a new theme song. He's showing up every week. He got a new haircut. He's dedicated to it. He's all about it.
Absolutely. So when we return, we're going to talk more WrestleMania Backlash right here on episode 194 of Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back. This is episode 194 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. Of course, I'm joined alongside the analyst James Williams and producer Rob Flores. I'm your host Ethan, and you can find us on Twitter at RealBTR Radio, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor. Where else? What other podcast avenues?
Pretty much all your favorite audio platforms. I think you kind of hit all the major ones there. But yeah, make sure you download, subscribe, listen, like, depending on where.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Let us know. You can hit us up on Twitter. We said at the beginning of the show. Heck, why not? We'll say it again. You can follow me at JHW Reporter. Ethan.
Follow me at EthanMB95. You can follow Rob at
Rob Flores Media. And don't forget the R2 DMs for Ethan.
And let's get back into some WrestleMania Backlash, shall we? We had the I Quit match featuring Ronda Rousey challenging Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This was a fun match. The rivalry, not so much. I found myself skipping a lot of it.
I kind of didn't. I feel bad saying this, but I didn't really pay too much attention to it either. I didn't pay too much attention, but
the promos were not good.
I was kind of surprised with the outcome, but at the same time, and if you want to walk through that, whatever, I'm not spoiling the outcome, but
you can spoil it.
Okay, well, Ronda won, so
we all predicted it.
Yeah, I was still kind of surprised that they did it, though. Again, I don't like it because then Charlotte just means she's gonna win the title again sometime soon. But I think Charlotte is supposed to maybe be getting married. I think maybe that she's taking a break here, maybe, but
she has a broken radius.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was storyline or not. They said she did break something, at least storyline wise. For me, it was just like I was left not interested with the buildup, I guess. And I don't think they had that great of a match. I think at WrestleMania, maybe it was just the way people are talking about it compared to some of the other matches that were going on. But everyone was saying this was a lot better of a match than their WrestleMania match. So maybe I'll have to kind of go back and maybe give it another chance. But at the moment. So I don't know.
Molly Holly apparently produced this match. So
they giving old Molly Holly a try, huh?
No, I enjoyed this match. It called back to the Survivor Series where Charlotte used the kendo stick and got herself disqualified there. This was good. It ended with Rousey putting on a chair around Flair's arm and then basically putting that arm bar locked in made Charlotte Flair say the words, "I quit." So we got a new SmackDown Women's Champion. Who's next to challenge Rousey?
I have no idea. I don't know where they go from here. Like I
would love to see Shayna, but she's kind of in the tag division right now, feuding.
Yeah, fairly new, I guess. I feel like she's been with Natalya before, right? But
yeah.
I was gonna say like Banks or but she's in the tag team with Naomi.
She's a tag team.
They are they on Raw? They might even be on Raw. I don't know,
They're
but
on SmackDown, but
they're
they're
on
showing up
SmackDown.
everywhere.
So I'm not sure. I don't know.
Is Bailey coming back anytime soon?
Yeah, but are you putting Bailey with Ronda?
You might have to.
Yes, because Bailey can talk, but what would she's not gonna win right away, which may not be a bad thing because she's a heel. If she comes in as a heel, I just don't know.
Prolong the feud a little bit.
Yeah, but it makes it hard when Bailey doesn't have someone to talk back with. I mean, just Ronda's not that good of a talker to where
she needs a manager.
She needs something. I mean, I'm not sure. Like I could see like she's someone I think that, and maybe they've done this storyline already just because of with Stephanie McMahon and stuff. But I think if you had her and like Sonya Deville, kind of like you can play an authority role there, maybe. Mm-hmm. You know, she could say like, I don't care who you are, Ronda.
Let's talk about there's no authority role for Sonya anymore.
Yeah, she got packed up, huh?
That's right. She this past Monday on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I guess upper management had a meeting and they relieved her of her duties as a WWE official. She is now just a full-time WWE superstar, and she faced off against a returning Alexa Bliss.
You know, I heard something about that, and I don't know how I missed this.
She came back to her old music. She's still carrying Lily around, but it seems like it's maybe a mix of what she was doing and then kind of the goddess gimmick. She's a baby face. But I think it's more back to the old Alexa Bliss, which I'm completely fine with.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still carrying around the Lily doll. Maybe looking to sell some merch.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So
I mean, is she gonna have a mood swing or something gonna?
They haven't.
I mean, the doll's already been like ripped up. I don't know, got put in the fire and stuff. But it's like, where do you go from here with the doll? I mean, you don't have to go anywhere with the doll, but it's just kind of it's kind of a weird dynamic though, just because the doll like that would play off of a weakness if it gets taken away or messed up, right? But if Alexa's supposed to be the character that she was, which was fairly strong, confident, nothing can deter her from what she thinks of herself. That's the way I kind of like. I don't, or maybe I don't know. Maybe the doll does add another wrinkle, but
maybe we'll see.
We'll see.
But we've now got Sonya back as a full-time wrestler. We've got Alexa Bliss back. Just got Asuka back. That's all on Raw. Lacey Evans has apparently been
they're doing promos or something.
Yeah, apparently she was doing those on SmackDown. She's apparently being sent over to Raw. So there's no one really on SmackDown for Ronda to go against.
I mean, I don't know if I want Ronda Lacey anyways. You know what I mean?
No, but there's not really anyone else they're building up. You got Raquel Rodriguez. Do you really want to put Raquel against Ronda right now?
No, I feel like you're getting someone who has a job because like you just gave Ronda the title. So who are you gonna? It has to be like Deville, right? Someone who you kind of know they're gonna lose.
I guess you could send her over to SmackDown. Yeah.
Who?
Deville.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to like,
even though she doesn't really have any credibility.
Well, I thought Sonya was doing fairly well with the role, like just because she was on the pre-shows and all this other stuff. And
yeah, no. But I mean, in terms of in ring, she lost to Bianca. She had to
in terms of
help, and then she got squashed by Alexa in a minute match.
So you're talking about in terms of being like a title contender.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But then again, it's just sometimes it's never really about contendership, especially now that it's always just kind of like, hey, I challenge you, or if I attack you and hit you in the back of the head, then you become the normal contender. So it's not like it ever takes much, but is Asuka's on Raw?
Mm-hmm. I don't want Asuka being sacrificed.
No, I mean, yeah.
She's feuding with Becky too, so.
And what is Bianca doing?
That's a good question, Rob. You know, she should be a fighting champion.
Yeah, but
did you see that tweet I sent you? It was
I'm scared to look.
Becky was responding or just tweeted out, when I was a champion, I defended my title in every pay-per-view. Then Bianca
Yes.
replied. She
When
was so
and then
defensive. And
who
then
replied?
Bianca.
I don't think I've seen that. Was it a quote tweet or something?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think I saw that. But I did see her tweet about Becky, but I didn't see Bianca's response to that. But what did Bianca say?
I just should have sent it to you. DMs. Hold on.
I'm surprised you even have Bianca Belair on your timeline. I thought you would have blocked her or something.
You know, I'm a fan. You know, she's a good worker. You know, she's not Becky Lynch. No one can be, but you know.
I'm tired of
Let's
you.
see. I'm sending you a lot of tweets.
Yeah, like I thought it would have showed up like near the top.
It's here it is. The DMs.
Or did you send it?
Yeah, I did. Coming from the woman who literally
Oh, you
handed her
sent it
title
under.
over and lost it the last time she defended it.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, get the hell out. Don't ever come for my work ethic or credibility because you tried it. And oh yeah, happy Mother's Days. Becky replied, I was talking about Roman. ...
I mean,
At least Roman had a match.
I thought she was talking about Bianca. I thought she was talking about Ronda, but I'm sure she was, but still.
It's fine.
And I don't know what for Hell in a Cell, like
For who? For
maybe
Ronda?
you well no, you said Sheena's in the tag. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know where they go.
I guess so.
Maybe they prolong the like they do a little more with Charlotte. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Next up, Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss.
Good old Madcap.
James and I predicted this correctly.
Yeah.
Madcap,
who predicted? We all picked Ronda. You said no.
We all predicted Ronda.
Okay.
And then James and I predicted Moss, and then Rob predicted Happy Corbin. This was a good match. I mean, showed off the skills of Moss. Very high impact, and got the victory here. So
yeah, I felt like if they were gonna have this match, it had to be Madcap getting the win. So made sense, I guess. I'm not mad at it.
Main event time, of course.
I thought that was the main event.
No. We got the main event right here.
Go on.
The Bloodline. We the ones taking on RK Bro and Drew McIntyre, and arguably the greatest 6-man tag team match of all time. I don't know.
I don't know about that, but okay.
It was really good.
A lot of people said it was pretty good. I was kind of like in and out between this match too, mainly just because it wasn't a unified tag title match like I thought it was supposed to be. I mean, obviously I knew before,
still might get that,
but yeah, we still might get that. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, you got Roman Reigns on the show. I had been saying that in the weeks leading up, like you're gonna have to get Roman on the show. Like there was no way they were gonna have the show without Roman being on it, right?
Of course not. He's the main event. He's gonna bring in the tickets. He's gonna bring in the views.
They still waited too long to have this. Like to get him, to say he was on there.
I think they're prolonging that unification. Smart Pimple's prolonging it for some reason.
Who? What? The world Roman?
The tag titles.
Randy Orton's ready to do it now.
Oh, he's ready, but the company probably wasn't ready.
Yeah. Okay. So Randy Orton. Let's just jump into that. Randy Orton and Riddle come out, say they want to unify those titles. They want the Usos in a tag team match.
Let's talk about it really quick. The Bloodline did end up winning. We all predicted it.
Yeah.
You acknowledged your tribal chief.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Well,
you mentioned that he was going to win, but
because he doesn't ever lose.
Exactly.
So
acknowledge him.
I didn't acknowledge him. I just picked him to win. Anyways, so Randy Orton and Riddle want to unify the titles, and Street Profits came out. They wanted to get involved. Say they're not gonna, they want to win the Raw tag titles first before anything is unified. So we'll wait and see what the Usos say, because I don't think the Usos responded or did anything unless I missed something on Twitter. But do you think we're gonna have to get this at some point, right? If they're teasing it.
They brought it back up. So
which I think is good because you brought it up and then you changed plans for Backlash. So I'm glad you're at least not ignoring the fact that you mentioned this.
are they
you
going
know?
to do this unification in a Hell in a Cell match?
That's what I'm saying. When do you do it? When do you?
They mentioned
I
Hell in a
don't know.
Cell. Are they going to do it inside Hell in a Cell? Is that why they waited?
Sure. I mean, Ronda won the title, so I think that kind of helps at least make it. There was like a title change. There was something significant on that show, so maybe that was enough for them to hold off on the tag title stuff. So maybe we do get a tag team unification match. Maybe that is your.
That's your main event.
That's your main event. I wouldn't
Hell in a
be.
Cell match,
Yeah, I wouldn't
that
be
or
it.
Cody versus Seth be the closer, the main event. But I mean, that's the big title match will be the tag titles. Because I don't know who Roman. I mean, Drew is seemingly he's coming for Roman's title at some point. I don't know if they're going to hold off until the UK shows, the big
When are those
Clash at the Castle. That's September. It's far away.
Yeah, but if they were waiting, they wouldn't have had the storyline at all, right? But they're doing it. I mean, I don't think Drew's going to beat him for the title.
No.
So
I don't know where they're trying to go with this because you got Nakamura, who I think also was trying to get something going with Roman. And you've got
he's probably in the queue. Are they on different shows? Roman and Nakamura. I mean, not Roman.
Show.
I mean Nakamura and Drew McIntyre.
Drew's on the same show. They're all on SmackDown. So
okay,
Shinsuke might be Roman's next opponent. I don't know, honestly.
And that's fine. I mean, again, maybe it's just a little weird now that with Raw not having a title, not having a champion. Again, which I think why the U.S. title is a little more significant. But how do you have a 3-hour show and not have the championship feud on there, like a world title feud?
Well, Brock did it for like 8 months, so.
Yeah, but at least the other guy was still showing up.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Well, Brock was a champion for Raw.
Yeah.
And he was gone several months at a time.
But he was always maybe feuding with somebody, right?
Not every
time, I mean, if
no.
You're the champion, always had a feud. Was just sitting there, you're saying?
No. So yeah, sometimes the title wasn't even discussed. You remember that era? It was,
I mean, maybe, yeah.
It was just, you're missing the title, so you're not having anyone mention it. I mean you've got enough talent on Raw to do it. Obviously, you got the Judgment Day storyline. You've got Theory, his title. You've got Cody and Seth. So you got storylines. You got the Women's Division storyline. So you got stories going. RK Bro. Should there be a title defense? Yes, eventually. But
I mean, because then again, it's just like, now how are you going to get the title off of Roman? Like, if you do decide not to, like, to ununify them or whatever, you know what I mean? To like give a title back to the other show.
Money in the Bank. It's July 4th or July 4th weekend.
I guess. I don't know.
Cash-in's gonna happen, I think.
It has to, because again, you introduce this whole universal title, and
I know how they do it.
What?
They're gonna do the triple threat thing again.
And then Roman doesn't have to get pinned.
Roman doesn't have to get pinned. He loses the title, the WWE title. So he keeps the longest reigning Universal title. That's his favorite title, anyways. They can send him, keep him on SmackDown like Fox wants, and then we get a new WWE champion.
Or you work for the WWE, you booking the show now, or what?
Yeah, I think they should just pay me right now, up front.
I mean, you never know what could happen.
I'm working under Pritchard right now.
We'll get some better storylines across the board.
I had a call. Hold
on. Okay. No, I whatever they do, we'll see where they go. As long as it's exciting. Again, I think you said it. There's a lot going on Raw that can keep the show entertaining. Again, it's 3 hours, but you have the Bloodline, you have some other stuff going on, so I think it works out.
We've got Hell in a Cell coming up in a few weeks. We've got Money in the Bank right after at a stadium show in Vegas. Then we've got SummerSlam in Nashville in the stadium. Then we got Clash at the Castle. So we got some big events coming up in stadiums. And we're going to be all over it because there's so much happening. And that's going to do it for us for this week. But until next time, This episode of Beyond the Ropes has been absolutely too sweet.